You know that feeling, right? Staring at a massive spreadsheet, just rows and rows of numbers, and having zero clue what it's all about? Well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to completely change how you think about business reports. We're moving away from those boring, static data dumps and learning how to build powerful, interactive tools that actually help people make smarter decisions. All right, let's get into it. So let's just get right to it with the million-dollar question. Why do so many of these reports just fail? We've all been there. You pour hours, maybe even days, into building what you think is a masterpiece. And then, crickets. It just lands with a thud. Nobody uses it, nobody acts on it, and all that work just feels like it went down the drain. We're going to figure out exactly why that happens and how to make sure it never happens to you again. This quote, it absolutely hits the nail on the head. See, data by itself is, well, it's just a bunch of numbers. It's the story you tell with that data that brings it to life. A truly great report doesn't just throw facts on a page. No, it weaves them into a narrative, a story that helps people understand what's going on, why it matters, and what they need to do next. Let's make this real with an example. Meet the Contoso skateboard store. They had a classic data nightmare. Their finance team and their supply chain team were basically living on different planets, using different data. That meant their reports never, ever lined up. The result? Total chaos, wasted time, and executives who couldn't get a straight answer. Okay, so how do we fix a mess like that? It all starts with one simple but absolutely critical question. Who are we building this for? Before you pick a single chart, before you even think about a color scheme, you have to know your audience and what they're trying to achieve. This is the bedrock of everything we're about to do. So at Contoso, you've really got two main camps. You've got your analysts, who are like data detectives. They need to dig around, explore the numbers, and find those big picture insights. Then you have your information workers. Think of an inventory manager. They're more like an air traffic controller. They need real-time info to make fast, on-the-ground decisions. Totally different needs, right? So they need totally different reports. So it's pretty clear a one-size-fits-all report is just doomed from the start. So what's the plan? Well, you build different types of reports, each one tailor-made for the user. Let's break down a few of the most common types you'll come across. First up, the analytical report. I like to think of this as a data sandbox, a playground for your analysts. It's designed for them to get their hands dirty, to dig deep, slice and dice the data, and chase down those aha moments that can really change a business. Next, you have the operational reports. This is mission control for that info worker. It's all about the here and now, focusing on real-time data so they can act immediately. It's kind of like the dashboard in your car. It gives you exactly what you need to know to make quick decisions on the fly. Then there's the dashboard. This is your 30,000-foot view, the executive summary of the entire business. It's designed for a quick glance to see if everything's on track. We're not talking deep analysis here. This is all about high-level, crucial situational awareness. And finally, the educational report. Think of this as Data 101 for a newcomer. It's perfect for someone who isn't familiar with the context. It's less about exploration and more about a guided tour, heavy on the narrative, to really teach the user what the numbers mean. All right, section 2. We know who we're building for, and we know what kind of report they need. Now for the really fun part, design. And we're not just talking about making things pretty. We're talking about making them crystal clear. And hey, here's the great news. You do not have to be a graphic design genius. Just stick to a few simple principles. Use white space. Let your visuals breathe. Align your charts and text to create a clean, professional look. Repeat your styles so people instantly know what they're looking at. And use color with purpose. It's a powerful tool, not just confetti to throw at the page. And this is so important. Good design isn't about decoration. It's about communication. A great design guides the user's eye, telling them exactly where to look. It highlights what's important and makes it effortless to see how all the pieces of the puzzle fit together. Okay, our report looks good, it's easy to read, but we can take it to the next level. What if our users want to explore the data for themselves? Well, that's what this next section is all about, putting them in the driver's seat with interactive controls. When it comes to letting users narrow down the data, you've got two main tools in your belt, filters and slicers. Filters are kind of the behind-the-scenes option. They're usually tucked away in a side panel, which is great for performance, but not always obvious. Slicers, on the other hand, are front and center, right on the report page, which makes them way more intuitive for people to use. And this is a perfect example of why this choice matters. Back at Contoso, the designer first tried using a hidden filter. And guess what happened? Users were confused. They couldn't even find it. The fix was so simple. They just swapped it for a visible slicer right on the page, and bam, problem solved. The report became 1,000 times more user-friendly. All right, we are leveling up again. We've gone from a static page to an interactive one. But what if we could make our reports feel less like, well, a report, and more like a slick, modern application? That's what we're tackling now. And we have some amazing tools to make this happen. You can use buttons to navigate between pages. You can create custom tooltips that give users extra info just by hovering. You can let them drill through from a high-level chart to a page full of details. And then there are bookmarks, which let users save their own custom views of the data. It's awesome. Okay, I've got to share one of my all-time favorite tricks here, using bookmarks to swap visuals. It sounds complex, but it's really not. You just stack two charts on top of each other, say a map and a bar chart. Then you hide one and create a bookmark, which is like taking a snapshot. Then you do the reverse and create another one. Hook those bookmarks up to some buttons, and now your users can toggle between the two views without ever leaving the page. It is a total game changer for saving space and adding interactivity. We have covered a ton of ground, but before we wrap this up, we need to talk about one last thing. And trust me, this one is non-negotiable. Performance. Because let's be honest, it doesn't matter how amazing your report looks if it's painfully slow. Nobody will use it. I mean, think about it. You'll leave a website if it takes more than, 3 seconds to load? Your reports are no different. 3.5 seconds for just one visual to load? That's an eternity in user time. You've already lost them. They've clicked away. A slow report is a useless report. So what do? Well, there's a fantastic tool called the Performance Analyzer. Use it. It'll show you exactly which visuals are slowing you down. Usually, the culprits are pretty simple. Either you have way too many visuals crammed onto one page, or your data formulas are just too complex. Find the bottlenecks and simplify. Every little tweak makes a huge difference. So, let's bring it all home. To turn that data dump into a genuine decision-making tool, here's the playbook. Start with your audience. Design for absolute clarity. Put your users in control. Elevate the experience to feel like an app. And please, for the love of data, make it fast. Look, all that data you have, it's telling a story. It has something important to say. The only question left is, are the reports you're building actually letting people hear it? Go build something amazing.